Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to everybody who is listening, and hello on YouTube again. You know me, I'm Alex, but I'm delighted to have the wonderful and awesome Priya on today. And Priya has just sold her business during the pandemic to none other than Oracle. So I'm delighted that she's been able to give us some of our time today to hear her story around video. It's all about video today. So Priya, over to you. Who are you? What's your background? What's your story? And let's get stuck in.
Yeah, hi Alex, hi everyone. Thanks for having me on this podcast. As you can see, I'm working from home at the moment in the pandemic. It's been a whirlwind few months for us. So yes, I was one of the co-founders, one of 4 co-founders of Source Video. Source is a cloud-based video creation platform that really makes it easy for brands to create video content with their network of communities, their employees, customers, fans, and create video together, all powered by smartphone cameras. So really our platform makes it super fast, simple, and easy to create video at scale. So I guess my background or how we started, our journey started about 8 years ago, where I met our co-founders, and actually we set out to solve a slightly different problem in video, which then kind of morphed into what Source is today. And we actually started developing technology or a video editing app that would automatically edit your GoPro videos.
Yeah, I'm a big GoPro fan. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And you collect all this video footage when you're out skiing, and then you never do anything. Yeah. It sits in a drawer, and you just never get around to it, right? Because it's just too much. Yeah. We all had this problem. So I'm a skier. We have snowboarders, kite surfers in our co-founder group, and so we created an app that could track what you were doing when you're out on the slopes, and then use those moments to automatically edit your video. And that's really where our journey started.
How long ago was that? 8 years, you said?
Yeah, something, give or take a year, I think.
That would have been long before Quick. GoPro Quick was...
Yes, so this was before Quick. Yeah, and then Quick came along.
Screwed that idea up, didn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how we started. It was a free app you could download. It was aimed at extreme sports and sort of travel enthusiasts. Yeah. And it did really well. But we found it really difficult to monetize that app. Because everyone, doesn't want to pay for an app. Apps are free these days, and we didn't really want to push kind of pushy advertising in our app. We wanted to keep the experience really clean. Yeah. And so kind of while we were trying to figure that out, we started to do a lot of video production for brands in the kind of events and lifestyle sector. And so I kind of taught myself to become a video producer. So I'd go out and produce videos, film, shoot, edit, and kind of using professional cameras at the time. And it was really through that process that we learned that, brands want and need more and more video. And it was really expensive and time consuming to produce video in the traditional way of going and having, shooting on set and on location and then editing that. And we kind of thought to ourselves, well, we've built all this amazing video editing technology that's mobile based. Why don't we kind of take that and repurpose that as a solution for businesses? There was a huge gap, right? Yeah. For cloud-based tools, especially for video creation. And that's really how Source came about. So we launched it probably about 3.5 years ago. Yeah. And took a lot of the technology that we'd built in our previous app and tweaked that a little bit, and looked at what the problems were or still are for businesses when it comes to creating video content. And yeah, like I mentioned, that was really kind of about the cost of producing video, the time it takes, and now with everyone all around the world and remote working, how do you collaborate easily, with your communities to create that video in a kind of seamless fashion.
Yeah.
And that's really how Source was born.
And why Source? Why any story behind the name?
So we were actually sitting in the pub beneath our office when we were just having a chat about this whole idea, and I think there was like a bottle of ketchup on the table, and we're like, sourcing video, Source, let's play on that, and yeah, that's how we came up with the name, really. And it was just, everyone agreed straight away. Love
it. And so the journey from, being on, and I totally get it, because the amount of GoPro footage I've got and sat there, and even with the likes of Quick, and it does even automate it up into, GoPro's cloud and stuff, you still, editing is flipping time consuming and hard work. I'm getting better at it. Did you have to kind of market this you touched on initially in the world of extreme, in the extreme sport world, you want to kind of create a clean user experience. So when you moved into kind of the corporate space, if you will, B2B or B2C, how did you go about kind of taking what you're doing in terms of the story, which back 4 or 5 years ago we were saying, we're very novel in terms of a concept of a business to get its head around. So how did you start to kind of get that message out? This is the next iteration of, I guess, employee advocacy is kind of what we're talking about, but using video as the medium to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a completely different market that we were trying to aim for. Okay. Like previously, it was a lot of Instagram, kind of social media. We would do tons of extreme sports events. And now we switched to selling to businesses and corporates. So we really had to change our tack. We learned a lot along the way. I did, I was head of sales and marketing. And it was really about pitching the value of the product and how that was really going to solve a particular problem that a client was facing. So it was a real mix of things. I would say, we did do a lot of kind of outreach, so cold outreach through cold calling, LinkedIn conversations, events, all of that kind of stuff. We would take every opportunity possible to speak to anyone and learn about, what problems that they were having. Alongside that, we did a lot of content marketing. So being a video company and having experience creating video, we create a lot of content and primarily video content that would go on LinkedIn and YouTube to really share what the product is, and just general kind of content around our company. As a startup, there's lots of exciting things that happen in your journey, and we kind of documented that journey in a really authentic way, which I think appealed to our clients, especially as they'd be using the platform to create authentic content themselves. So it kind of inspired them at the same time. And then to add to that, general mix of SEO as well kind of helped. I would say that direct selling was really key for us in getting our first customers on board. And that's one of our biggest challenges, right? Is getting that first paying customer to use your product and keeping them on the product.
Kind of proving the concept actually works. Now, I've been fortunate. I've actually kind of lived and breathed the Source experience, as it were. For those that are watching and listening, so we take them through what it actually, how it actually works, what the kind of the whole platform does, and the kind of and again, it's always the really simple ideas that are really cool. That's why your idea is so brilliant, because it's so stupidly simple when you think about it. I don't doubt the technology behind it is very complex, but let's walk through kind of what it actually does and how people use it.
Definitely. Under the hood, there's some very interesting technology that we've built. But on the face of it, the way we've designed it is to make anyone be able to jump into the platform and create a video and edit a video themselves with no prior video editing experience. So in a nutshell, the way it works, it's kind of 3 steps really. Let's say you want to create a video of an event. You'd go into Source and create like a project for your video. And you detail like a shot list where you can direct people and tell them what you want them to capture. Quite similar to a video shoot, really, like a storyboard. And then you'd invite people in your network into your project, so you can share a link. And those could be, your teammates. It could be your influencers, ambassadors, fans, customers, anyone really.
Yeah.
And they join your project. They can follow your shot list and capture those videos and photos using their smartphone camera.
Yeah.
And they simply upload those in using our mobile app or our desktop platform.
Yeah.
And then those videos are uploaded. You can then, as a project manager, review all of that content in one place. It's all in the cloud, so even your team can jump in and watch all the videos and label which ones you want to use. And then we have some editing tools that you can use then to edit those videos together into your final video that will then be shared into your channels. But the editing tool is built to be super easy and quick. There's a lot of nice features that we've kind of added, which reduces the complexity, like automatic captioning, music levels ducked really nicely. And there's like licensed music in there you can choose from. So a lot of the things that typically take a long time when it comes to editing videos, we've built some really easy to use kind of widgets and tools in the platform that allow you to do that.
Awesome. And so I guess if you're a global organization, for example, I'm taking obviously events aren't really happening at the moment, but what you could do then is you're a global organization, actually it doesn't have to be global, because we could be in the UK and your employees are now dispersed all around the country working from home. They would all download the app and they could capture their moments at home in terms of now a day in the life of the virtual world. That will get sucked up into one place, the central team, wherever that person or people are. You can, I guess, a bit like a Google Docs or a Teams, you can work in terms of all in one place and then create a seamless video to be used for whatever purposes. I guess it's quite, I don't know if even they may be using technology, like what some of the banks are now doing in the supermarkets on the TV adverts. You see they've evidently got their employees just to record themselves at home in terms of all this kind of stuff. So I've used the tool when we were doing the Bionic Lawyer project. It's just super easy. It helps for me because I get video and I know what I'm doing. So how does a lot of people? Okay, let's start this again. Why is video important? And then how do we get people who aren't comfortable with video to be comfortable with it? So let's focus on why video is important today.
Yeah, so, I think the stats kind of say it all. Video is probably the most engaging piece, way to communicate your brand. It's so important now because people don't have much time. They want to watch video. You can get a lot of information across in a video, and it can be tweet for mobile, for desktop. There's so many different formats that you can even have. Super engaging, right? Most people think when you say video, most people think of social media and marketing. Actually, we're seeing a huge need for video and in other sort of use cases within an organization. And so that could be using video to attract potential candidates to apply for jobs. So like you said, the example of a day in the life video. A lot of our clients are using the platform for recruitment marketing and employer brand to show the authentic side of their business when trying to attract candidates for jobs. But also for sales enablement, internal communications, compliance. There's video can just offer so much. I guess video has been around for a long time. It's not like it's new. But the challenge has been how to produce that video in the past. But now we all have smartphone cameras, and they're getting better, right? So, I think it's just become more and more easy for a company to create those videos as well. It's just now having that sort of cloud technology to bring all those sort of bits together and really leverage off the tools that we have in our pocket already.
And how do we, because I do a lot of work primarily in kind of professional service space, so lawyers and accountants, and even when I work in the sales space, there's some people who are very nervous of video because it's raw, right? It's you're out there, and I remember the journey that I've been on with my #AskAlex videos, which I do every Friday, from being kind of terrified through to, well, you've seen some of the stuff that I do now in terms of running around car parks and dressing up as pirates and so on. But how can organizations kind of help give employees confidence that's kind of okay, A, to do, and B, it's not as scary as people think it is?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, and it is a challenge. People are used to creating videos in their personal lives, but for some reason there is a bit of a barrier when it comes to creating it at work.
Yeah.
But I think, given what's happened over the last few months, I think people are being much, much more comfortable now with, video Zoom calls, for example, not having to like have your hair done when you're joining a call. And people are getting much more comfortable with being their authentic self.
Yeah.
Corporates, I suppose, still want to be on brand.
Yeah.
And so that's really important. But they can give, we've seen a lot of like cheat sheets, tutorials on how to capture your video.
Yeah.
Inside our platform, you can message your creators. You can create like a nice tips video that you add to your project. So you can really direct them and help them feel really comfortable when they're on camera. But I think the great thing about shooting those videos on your smartphone is you're in a comfortable environment. You're in your own. You can do it in your own time. You don't have a big fat camera with someone standing behind and a lighting guy and they're putting pressure on you. You can do it. You can do as many takes as you like and get it right before before you send that out. So I think there's lots of things that you can do to make people more comfortable, and we're seeing that people are really engaging with these employee video projects now. They really want to be part of it. Not only does it kind of help you achieve your goals at work, but it can build your personal brand at the same time. And it's almost like a skill set that people want to now have, being able to become a creator. So yeah, we're seeing, it's an exciting time, I think.
I think it's interesting because I look at what's going on with my sound. We'll worry about that in a minute. If you look at I don't know if you follow Simon Kemp on social, but he releases his digital quarterly reports, and we've hit a different point. Half the world's now on, over half the world population is on social media. What was fascinating is the second platform destination. So you start out of Facebook, Insta, TikTok, what have you. Every single platform that starts there, the second destination platform, bar none, was YouTube. So everyone goes there and then goes to YouTube. And you also, I'm ashamed to say I have a light ring, which is why I've got the light here, because I'm on TikTok because I want to understand how TikTok works. And that's a 15-second to 60-second video clip. And some of the I don't like to say the kids, because there's some incredible, actually, parents now on there leveraging TikTok, but their editing skills are insane. But it's also the capability that app has in terms of the effects that you can put in there. So where do you see video? This is kind of, where we're going if we don't know what we're doing tomorrow, let alone in the future. But I guess for you, this is the beginning of video, right? Properly, in terms of where it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much more that can happen with video. From now looking at it as a business tool, you have editing tools. There are an abundance of editing tools that can do really funky stuff. A lot of it is around still kind of maintaining that brand within your video. But I've seen, I've been quite excited by some of the different things that can happen, like almost when you're also distributing your video. So sort of like journey-led videos. Of course, you've got different formats and being able to create, repurpose one video into multiple formats for TikTok and then for Instagram and for YouTube, and doing that. But I think there's definitely a lot of exciting stuff to come. I know in our roadmap, as a sort of video collaboration tool, more built for enterprises, we've got some really exciting stuff around sort of brand management and video at scale. So using a lot of those kind of quick editing features to empower someone who doesn't have maybe the time or the skill to create hundreds of videos, and to make it easy for them. So you can start to, so video can be used more in personalization and targeting. You know, a lot of marketing now, if you look at adverts and social media posts, they're highly targeted, right?
Yeah.
But to get video to be highly targeted is a really difficult task.
Yeah.
So if you can solve that problem, I think then you're really winning.
It's interesting. There's because this is the kind of video personalization in terms of SDRs. So you were acquired by Oracle. Oracle have a whole bunch of sales teams, sales development reps in terms of pushing out their kit, whatever it might be, including yours. And video is now starting to come into this. So, in LinkedIn, you can send a video message now to your first 40 connections. So we were talking about a podcast I was doing the other day about interrupting people's pattern in a positive way. Oh, that's a bit unusual. Products like Loom, again, helping you send out video message in terms of that. But personalizing video at scale is tricky. That said, it's a guy called Justin Michael, and he kind of lives and breathes this world. And he just shared a piece of a fake Joe Rogan podcast,
right,
where it's Joe Rogan's voice, but AI has manipulated it to say he's basically, it's like a 30-second clip. He's going to be sponsoring a hockey team made up of monkeys. But what they are doing is proving how you can take someone's voice and manipulate it to then say what you want to say. Scary from the bad actor side of thing. But the next iteration of this, if you can then start to get technology to then read someone's LinkedIn profile, pick out what it perceives to be the personal pieces, then as you go into kind of, I've seen some crazy deepfake stuff online in terms of Clinton and Obama and how that kind of works. But it's terrifying where this can go. But I believe that it will get there eventually. I'm not sure what that necessarily means for humanity and society in terms of, I think the Minority Report, but video for me has been massively useful in terms of generating kind of my personal brand and so on. I can absolutely see from an employee advocacy and internal branding piece. And now you've got the machine that is Oracle, behind you and your business. Exciting times ahead, no doubt. VR, AR, where I know it's not kind of what you did. I know I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question, so I'll give you some time to think. VR, exciting. Now not exciting. Now exciting in terms of I saw a PwC report a couple of weeks ago around how through VR training you can speed up the training. People ingest more training more quickly and remember it for longer, and that kind of is kind of the world of video, I guess, or even AR. Think Pokemon Go in terms of where people are following that. Any views, any take on what you've seen within the world of Oracle, or what you've seen in the general world of video, where that might or may not take us?
I think AI is really exciting.
Okay.
I think especially as smartphones progress, I'm excited to see where Apple kind of takes us in the world of AR. They're developing some really, really awesome stuff. And I think that is probably the next phase for video. Okay. Before we step into the whole VR world. I think AR has massive potential, mixing, of course, reality with then personalization with video. That would be an area that I would love to explore more. Awesome.
I'm trying to work, in terms of going back to the extreme sports stuff, I've seen some, I've got an old, I'm going off topic now, but it doesn't matter. I've got the old Oakley Airwaves from way back when, and it's just, you look down, it's a little screen, but I've now seen goggles coming out where they project in front of you kind of AR in terms of where the piece is going, and so I think they believe they gamify it, but some people said that's really freaking dangerous because you're concentrating on trying to play the game rather than going down the hill. Anyway, I digress. Back to extreme sports, which you and I can shoot the breeze on another time. Hopefully, we can actually have a beer together. So you've been acquired. And that's awesome. Really pleased. I've been following your journey for for a couple of years now. Vicky was who introduced us. How did that all come about in a global pandemic?
Yeah, about that. So I guess our journey started with Oracle, I think back in 2018. We joined their Startup Accelerator program. So we kind of, our intention was not to get acquired. At the time we joined this program, it was really, looked really interesting. It offered us loads of kind of benefits as a scaling up startup. I guess during that time, we met a lot of people within Oracle. I think we, myself particularly, I worked really hard to kind of almost leverage every opportunity that Oracle could throw at us, whether that was meeting their clients, attending their events, speaking on stage. They gave us a lot of opportunities. And I think, one thing really led to another. As you know, conversations can lead anywhere. So we did open as many doors as possible. And for one team in particular, video was really a really important piece that was missing in their platform. And that was the Oracle Content and Experience platform, also known as CX Content. And so when they saw Source at one of the Oracle events, it really sparked that interest, especially as we had designed a mobile first kind of solution for mobile capture, collaboration and editing. That conversation developed over time, and one thing led to another, and they decided to acquire us, or they wanted to acquire us. Now I think, was it June? I officially started as an employee.
I remember seeing your post on LinkedIn. I was like, that's so cool.
And so now Source is going to be integrated into Oracle's CX content platform as the video kind of technology for video capture and editing.
Awesome. That is so. I genuinely am so, I'm so pleased when I see. I hope I can call you a friend. When you see success, it's just absolutely brilliant. I think the other thing, I do a lot of work with incubators and scale-up programs, and some for large organizations as well, like the sorts of Oracle. And I think you're a prime example. Use that opportunity to just network through those organizations. Just go and connect everybody on LinkedIn. This is what I'm doing, because you're right. You have loads and loads of conversation with people. You never know where it's going to go. So anybody that's listening, watching, that's in kind of that world, follow Priya and her team example. If you're in these incubators, in these scale-ups, leverage the hell out of them. Leverage the relationships that these organizations have, both internally, but also you never know who knows who that could lead to that. So what next for you? You've been bought by Oracle. You're being put into their CX content platform. So what's the roadmap look like now in terms of where your tech is going, if you're able to share any of the secret sauce? See what I did there?
I haven't had that in a while, Alex.
Sorry.
So there is a really exciting roadmap coming up, and really where the vision of the CX content platform, it's a headless solution. So it's kind of really exciting in terms of where content management is going. Essentially what the platform does is enable you as a corporate, as a brand, to hold all of your assets in one place in a really, really smart way. And that could be videos, that could be images, text, blogs, whatever you have, and then build really exciting experiences all on top of your platform where you're holding all your assets. And I think it's really exciting for video. You could then distribute your videos through so many different experiences, whether that's mobile app and microsite, and repurpose that one video in so many different ways. In terms of our roadmap, in terms of Source, there's lots of kind of exciting updates coming to our editing solution, which is going to really help brands kind of who are global edit their videos in a much more scalable fashion. And so, adding or advancing our automatic captioning to accommodate lots and lots of languages.
Cool.
And that's really important for our customers.
Yeah, 100%.
Alongside that whole brand management piece, where you have the right logos, you have the right assets and fonts, that the CX content platform already manages, but applying that to your video creation and your video editing. So there's lots of great stuff around that that's kind of coming up later this year. So that's about what I can share with you.
No, of course. I wasn't expecting you to share this. Of course. Again, all right, I'll stop.
But yeah, with Oracle's backing, we now have a really big development team that's working on the product, and I think there's going to be lots of exciting things. So definitely follow us. We will be posting about all of the exciting things that are coming up in the roadmap.
Awesome. And you've segued perfectly into kind of wrapping this all up. Where do people find you, Source / Oracle? Where are you?
So at the moment you can just visit source.video, so it's SAUCE.video. That will then redirect you to Oracle's site, where we're kind of moving to. Our website is moving. So yeah, follow that. Also Oracle Content and Experience. They also have a YouTube channel as well. But yeah, best to follow me on LinkedIn as well, because I do reshare and post everything.
I will put all the links in the varying, I'm not very good at this yet, varying bit. For those that are listening, I'm trying to point somewhere on the screen. Priya, thank you so much for affording me and my listeners your time today. No doubt super busy with all the exciting plans and projects that you've got. For everybody listening, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. As always, if there's anybody you think I should get on this, then let me know. If you want to come on this podcast, then hit me up on the varying social media platforms. You know where to find me. Otherwise, Priya, have a lovely weekend.
Thanks, Alex.
And everyone else, keep well, stay safe, and we will see you on the flip side.